NetsBoy, so let's hear what he has to say. His name is NetsBoy, he thinks the world is all over when the Nets just can't play. What up, Net fans? NetsBoy back and bring your latest in your Brooklyn Nets news. Okay, there is a lot to go over in today's episode. A lot. I've been behind in these videos since the beginning of the year. The Nets have currently played 16 games so far. They're 4-12, playing the way the Nets are expected to play, which is bad. And I just haven't had a lot of time to really talk about them because I spent so much effort and energy working on my NetsBoy 100th episode, which, by the way, if you have not seen yet, please go back in the NetsBoy archives and check it out. I posted it about a week ago. It was a best of video, so I literally sat through the first 99 episodes of NetsBoy, picking and choosing my favorite moments and then editing it together for my 100th episode. I think it came out really well. I think you'll enjoy it, and so if you haven't seen it, check it out. If you have seen it, please share it with friends, family, other Net fans, just so I can get a few more views, because personally, I was hoping for a little bit more views than it's gotten so far. And, just based off of how much time and effort I put into it, I was just hoping for a little bit more views. So humor me and go out there and check it out. And like I said, repost it, comment, subscribe, do everything you're supposed to do on YouTube. And, Okay, cool. So that's my 100th done. And other irrelevant news that you probably won't care about, but I'm going to share with you anyway. I don't know if you notice, but the room in which I am doing my video in appears to be different. That's because it is. Because NetsBoy is moving on up in the world. Or in this case, just simply moving. I actually moved out of my parents' house, which, yes, those previous videos were all filmed in my parents' house. In my room at my parents' place. That's where those videos were filmed. But now I got my own place, and not that I won't be doing some NetsBoy videos still probably there, because I go back and forth a lot. But, I just had to get this video done, so here I am in my new NetsBoy apartment. Yeah. I'm only sharing that with you just in case there is one or two people who go, "Things look different. What's going on? Where's the ripped shade? Where's the air conditioner? Where's the yellow wallpapering?" Yes, that was yellow wallpapering. "Where's the trophies in the background? Where's his guitar? Things look different." Yeah, okay. Different area. Yes, it's different. This is all different. But same NetsBoy. So just like I said, just sharing that with you. Not that any of you care, because I like to share information with my fans and viewers that I'm pretty sure is irrelevant to their lives. But that's okay. Okay, so done. Let's talk Nets. The Nets are 4-12, and they really got off to a really decent start. They were 4-4 before a devastating injury to Jeremy Lin happened, and since then the Nets have yet to win a game. So this episode, I'm going to really talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Brooklyn Nets so far this year. So let's start with the good. There's a couple good things, but I'm going to focus really on two things. That first one is Brook Lopez. He looks great. And this year, he's developed the three-point shot, which has really served him well and served the Nets well. And it's really awesome that he's really shooting it as well as he is, because I never thought Lopez was going to be ever really a three-point threat, but now he is. And he's like shooting it at like 40-something% or something like that. Like it's pretty good. I don't know if it's quite that high. It might be like 38% or something like that, but it's pretty darn good. And I never would have thought that. So Brook Lopez's three shooting is definitely the good, as well as the toughness in which this Nets team plays at, the Brooklyn grit. Except for these last few games in which their energy is really kind of, tapered off a bit. Throughout most of these first 10 games, though, that they played really well and really tough and gave a lot of effort and worked really hard, and you could see it. You can see them trying to be as good as they possibly can and not being complacent, and that's what you want. You want a team that tries hard, who gives their all every night, and we saw that in the first few games by this Nets team, and that's some good character traits that these Nets players have. So that's the good. So the good is Brook Lopez and his three shooting and the toughness in which the Nets are playing at, even though it's tapered off a bit. That's the good. Now for the bad. The bad is definitely the injuries. As I mentioned before, Jeremy Lin, he has a strained hamstring. He's missed 11, 12 games, and it is not a coincidence that the Nets have lost every game that he has not played. Look, Jeremy Lin looked really good in the first few games of this year, and he is so important to this Nets team. He is 100% needed for them to be anywhere as good as I hope that they can be. And without him, they're just simply a bad team. Isaiah Whitehead has done a very solid job coming in and being the starting point guard. He really needs to start trying to figure it out offensively, but his defense has been good. But what do you expect? He is a second-round draft pick, and he's a rookie. Yogi Ferrell has looked very good for the same situations. I'm throwing stuff on the floor. Same situation that Whitehead's in, being an undrafted rookie. A lot of pressure and a lot of expectations for those guys, and I think they've done a really good job so far without Lin. Gravis Vasquez, as we know, he was released. He just couldn't stay healthy with that ankle. He was never really fully recovered from his surgery and from the injury of last year. So Sean Marks let him go, and I think that was a good move because Vasquez was basically a shell of himself so far, and it gives more opportunity for Farrell and Whitehead to develop. But the Jeremy Lin injury has really hurt them, and hopefully he can come back in the next week or two because they really, really need him. And then, you got Rondae Hollis-Jefferson's injury, which he has a sore ankle as well. He has a sore ankle that has really hurt the Nets as well. Not as bad as the Lin's hamstring injury, but still, both players are very much so needed. So that's the bad. So the bad is the injuries, but hopefully that the Nets can overcome that and these guys can come back and the Nets can try to get back to being a solid team like they were at the beginning of the year. Now for the ugly. The Nets defense. I can't believe how terrible of a team this is defensively. It baffles me. They have 10 consecutive games of giving up over 110 points or something like that. I know there's a stretch where they went 4 games of giving up over 120 points. Are you kidding me? How can you expect to win any damn games if you're giving up over 110 points a game? That is unbelievable. And the Nets offense has looked fine. It's looked actually great. They're a top 10 team offensively, but they just can't play any defense. It's an embarrassment. And that second unit with Randy Foy, Kilpatrick, Joe Harris, Luis Scola, Justin Hamilton, they can't play defense at all. As soon as those guys come in, it's like a 10-0 run for the other team. Not because they're not scoring, because all those guys can score a little bit, especially Kilpatrick, who's looked really good at the beginning of the year, but they just can't stop anyone. Seriously, next Nets game, watch when Kenny Atkinson goes to that lineup. Watch how poorly they play defense. Watch how almost instantaneously the other team's going to go on a 10-0 run. It's like comical. And yet Kenny Atkinson still goes to that lineup. You can't do that. You can't do that. And this team they make the same damn mistakes over and over again. Late rotations, overcommitment and dribble penetration, no contesting layups. It's just unbelievable. It's so frustrating to watch them defensively. And if they could just play some decent defense, not even great defense, just average defense, this Nets team probably would have won at least 3 more games. Instead, they're 4-12 and are one of the worst teams in the league, and it's mostly on the defensive end. I mean, it's just a disaster watching this team play defense, and words can't describe it. You look at this team, the Nets have some decent defensive players. They do. Whitehead is great defensively. I mean, I knew he was a good defensive player watching him at Seton Hall, but I did not know that he was going to be this good in the NBA. He's very good at staying in front of quicker guards than him, and he's a good help defender. He averages 5 blocks per game already, which is pretty good for a point guard. He's done a really good job defensively. Trevor Booker, he looks very good on the defensive end. Not that great of a shot blocker, but a solid defensive rebounder, which is part of defense, as well as really good at steals and bodying up the players. And Lopez, he's been a very good shot blocker this year. He's averaging close to 2 blocks a game. He's looked good defensively. And then you've got Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, who, yes, he's hurt, but we know how good of a defensive player he is with steals and on-the-ball defense. So the Nets have defensive players. Yet they still can't seem to play defense. And like I said, I blame mostly that second unit because they are just a sick joke defensively. And really, if I'm Kenny Atkinson, you cannot have those 5 players out on the floor at any time. You need to have either Whitehead, Lopez, Hollis-Jefferson when he's back, or Booker interchangeable and put into that lineup to help their defense because it is just abysmal. And, it's just frustrating. It's frustrating. The Nets are 4-12. I think they should be 6-10 at the worst, but they're 4-12 and they need to change. And the only way they're really going to change is to play some defense. So that's the ugly for the Nets, their defense. And man, is it ugly. So that's my overall first analysis of this Nets team based off what I've seen through the first 16 games. The good, Lopez's 3 shooting ability and the fact that this team plays really hard every night, well, most nights. The bad, injuries to Jeremy Lin and Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. And the ugly, the Nets defense. Whew. Okay. Finally, I was able to get some kind of analytics done with the Nets. And that's what I think so far. So let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Like I said, share these videos. Let me know what your impressions have been of the Nets so far this season. Personally, like I said, I thought they should have been 6-10. They're 4-12, but they have some winnable games coming up. The game against the Clippers, they had no chance of winning that one. But then they got 2 games in a row against the Bucks and then the Wizards twice. Then the Wizards and then the Nuggets. So after that Clippers game, the Nets have some 4 games that they can win. So I really think coming up, the Nets should probably win at least 2 out of the next 5 games. I think that's a possibility, especially if Jeremy Lin can come back soon. So, but we'll see what happens because the way this team plays defense, I swear to God, I think like my men's basketball team could probably score like 100 points on them the way they play defense, which is a joke. But anyway, so keep your eyes open for the next NetsBoy episode. And like I said, if you haven't seen NetsBoy 100th yet, go back and check it out. And until then, this is NetsBoy signing off.